All right, so with World War II, powers that be burned down the Reichstag building, which is like a version of our Capitol building, which was like 9/11, false flag, and blamed it on the communists to sort of inspire the nation to get on board with all types of wars to fight communism. Like in 9/11, we were fighting Islamic fundamentalism. Like it's just gonna roll into the nation and seep into the gutters, and the streets will be flooded with it, and it'll take over. So basically, it's trauma-based mind control. You create a state of trauma, people no longer use logic, they're reactive. That's mass trauma-based mind control. 9/11, Reichstag building, now Pearl Harbor, okay? Pearl Harbor, people are like, about going to war, getting involved. That inspired them, that was shock and awe. Trauma-based mind control, people were outraged, traumatized, and there was this war effort, as you know, Rosie the Riveter and all this. Now, prior to World War II, our United States military, wasn't to the scale it was. It was after the buildup. Even little kids were turning in their toys. Metal roller skates, for example, which not everybody had. People were poor because, don't forget, the Great Depression, when the ownership of the country transferred to the people who own the Federal Reserve, the Social Security numbers. Now, World War II, you have Hitler, okay, total Psyops, his funny mustache, easy to remember. And that greasy hair he had, looked like Shemp from the Three Stooges when Moe used to slap him and his hair used to fly around.
I'll teach you a thing or two.
So easy to remember, just like Osama bin Laden, easy to remember. It's never just some Joe Schmo accountant-looking guy, It always has to be something special about him, or Mussolini, Lenin, with these funny beards and goatees and mustaches, sticks in the mind. So with Hitler's, the people believe like, he was such a good speaker and charismatic, and he inspired, and he just took over, this cult of personality. Complete horseshit. Impossible. It's the machinery behind it. It always has been. It's always the system behind it. That's what they don't want us to understand, and that's what we don't want to understand. It's too complex. So they lizard brain us with some face that we can remember, put it all on that, we get rid of him, the problem goes away. Well, the Second World War, all wars, what is it? Human sacrifice ritual. And what is the reward for sacrificing a bunch of humans? Money and power. And there's probably some spiritual things going on, I'm sure, and that's where these people are locked in. They print money and they have all the power. It's been that way since, Rome, Egypt, Sumeria, the people in power. In Egypt, you had a trinity, just like you have a Christian trinity. Nonetheless, human sacrifice ritual, reward, that's all war is. But they have to sort of make excuses for it. They're not just going to raise their hand like, hey, we're going to plan a giant human sacrifice ritual and you're all going to go along with it. We wouldn't. So they have to create a psyops and a false narrative for us to buy into. What did World War II give birth to? A lot of things. You had federal withholding leading up to the war, where they take money directly from your paycheck, but it was only supposed to be temporary. Gave birth to the United Nations. Gave birth to Israel. What do you know? Who benefited? Like when you're a detective, who benefited? Well, look who benefited. Who benefited from 9/11? Was it the terrorists? No. Of course, the United States government obtained exponentially increased power over its populace through paranoia. Now, after World War II, after we defeated the funny mustache guy who went to Argentina, and by the way, his longtime lover, whatever that woman is, that's a scam. Hitler had a boyfriend. He had a known lover, or basically life partner. He moved to Argentina, just like Osama bin Laden. Where's the body? We can't find it. After World War II, another thing that happened was NASA, NASA, a lot like NAZI, all the rocket scientists came from the Nazi regime over to America. And a lot of people washed their hands of the United States government because they're like, we've been duped. We're duped. Just like people felt after COVID. We've been duped. So they came here, set up NASA. I was like, oh, we're gonna, it's for exploration, etc. And really what it's brought us, of course, is a surveillance state. That's what it's there for. This whole moon thing, that's window dressing. That's a paper mache psyops for people to get on board. And I'll tell you one thing, like when the moon landing, it cast a literal spell over the populace, over the United States population. Indigenous people would view the sky as the heavens, as a representation or perhaps a literal manifestation of God. Now, the United States government, with their psyops, with the moon landing, not only did they didn't just commune with this God, like we got closer, no, they brought a car up there, is what we're told. They left the pinball machine at home and the above ground swimming pool a little bit too heavy, but they did bring the car. They brought the car. So they were doing donuts, Dukes of Hazzard jumps, wheelies on God, essentially, was what it amounted to. And people were like in a state of awe because they had a really strong cell phone signal from the moon to Earth in real time. It was like a 7-second delay or whatever it was. It's really small. That's how smart they were. But black and white TV, but they did it. They pulled it off. They just pulled themselves up by them bootstraps, and just by patriotism alone, even though the math didn't work, they just willed it to happen. So now, people are looking at the United States government and they're feeling like a sense of shared godhood because they're part of it with the Stockholm syndrome. And here we are. And the scam just keeps continuing. The scam, the psyops keeps continuing. We are trapped in a psyops. Most people don't know it, and living on the earth, living among people who are absolute zombies. Their consciousness is completely owned by satanic rulers. The Pentagon, the Capitol, the White House, all serve the owners of the Federal Reserve. They own the country. They own it. And industry is just a subsidiary of the Federal Reserve. They control industry, they control politics, they control military, and they control the judicial branch. 100%. Your daddy and your mommy are the owners of the Federal Reserve, and that's the truth.